Locked On ACC, your daily podcast on the Atlantic Coast Conference. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's going on, everybody? Happy Friday. We are back. Freestyle Friday with Drizzy Drake, Tally _ Drake on Twitter. You can find him there. We are so pumped to be back yet again talking about week 3. As I mentioned on yesterday's show, we are looking ahead and we are going to just get things rolling here. Make sure you guys are super excited. If you have not yet, you should subscribe to our podcast on YouTube. We are available there. We are trying to up our subscriptions. So, if you have not yet, you should go ahead and get on that bad boy. If you want to listen to us audio style, you can hit up the Odyssey app or wherever you get podcasts. We give you all the latest ACC conference news. Drizzy Drake, what's going on? Happy Friday, my guy.
Happy Friday. Thank God Friday is finally here. The weekend was not so kind to you, boy. Also, I work 10 minutes away from Coral Gables, University of Miami's campus. I work primarily with Canes fans.
Woo! They let
and
you have it.
I'll start a diet this week, so trust me, it's been a rough week.
I'm sure they gave it to you one time. Now, of course, I've had everyone on the show this week talk about their respective losses, and then we're looking ahead. But I give you a chance, just talk about Florida State for just a bit, just 30 seconds. Let it off your chest. Jacksonville State lost. I'm sure you're just very frustrated. There's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of mixed emotions. I saw your co-host Max was on television talking about it. That was pretty dope. But just give me your thoughts here about what your team kind of went through, and then where can we go from here?
I mean, we can only go up. That was literally rock bottom. I mean, we had never lost to an FCS team until that moment. We were 26-0, and it's probably the most embarrassing loss in the program's history. Yeah. I blame everybody because I think I told you over text messages, I think within 5 minutes of the touchdown, I wanted everybody fired. And I've been a booster since I graduated from there.
Okay.
And I contemplated pulling all my money out, actually, like the day
all
after.
All of your money?
Yeah, I increased my level every single year ever since I went to law school in 2017. So
respect.
Yeah, but I didn't because one, I worked in compliance, and you worked for university athletics, like they need the money, so that's something do that. So kind of like me saying that, and then you're probably thinking what are other people thinking, but it's nothing short of embarrassment. It's a laughing stock. Hopefully with Wake, we need a huge turnaround because, boy, we are in deep, dire straits right now.
Yeah, let's get right into it. Florida State will face Wake Forest, a big ACC matchup going into this weekend. Sam Hartman versus Mackenzie Milton, Jordan Travis. Who knows what we're going to get, but a little bit of mixture of both at 3:30 on ESPN. We're excited about that. It's a bounce-back game for Florida State. It's a who are we game for Wake Forest in a sense because they haven't had a true test yet. However, Florida State seemingly was a test based on that Notre Dame game, but maybe it speaks more to who Notre Dame is. That's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. But I think this is a good, let's put our dukes up, see where we're at. Let's evaluate the team for real. Coach Clausen versus Coach Norvell, and we can just get it rolling. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, I agree with that primarily because with Notre Dame, I think that's what we saw the absolute best that this team can be. And then we just saw what this team can be at absolute worst. One of my issues with the game was that we just, heard all of our hype. We took the moral victory as an actual victory, and we didn't show up. And then with Wake, I mean, they only played FCS opponents so far, Old Dominion, and they also played Norfolk State, albeit, I mean, they beat them like they're supposed to. But if you actually watch the game against Norfolk State, if you look at the defense, one of the things that, irritates me the most with teams, whether it be pro or college, is poor form tackling and laziness on the side of the ball. And that's something that, really grinds my gears. And after watching the Wake Forest game in preparation for this weekend, I'm seeing a lot of laziness and loafing around from that defense. So maybe they weren't taking those tune-up games very seriously. So hopefully we can catch them sleeping.
Yeah, I mean, that's a very good point. I think that's a lot around, the first couple games of the season. People think they can be asleep. Florida State, though, up and down. I mean, Jermaine Johnson looked great, but then you have games where defense is just lackluster. Your secondary clearly went to sleep during that last part of the game. Final few seconds. But I also blame, the scheme that they were given. They can only do so much with what they're called. But hey, that's a whole nother story for another day. So Florida State, Wake Forest, it's going to be a good one. Then you've got Syracuse versus Albany. Should be an easy one for Dino Babers and company. But there's a lot of talk around who is going to be the quarterback. Is he going to make a switch? Who knows? I think they can get 2 wins, and that will be a step above what they did in 2020 season. So maybe that'll be a happiness around, the New York area. But I'm not, holding my breath. You just never know what you're going to get out of that Carrier Dome. What are your thoughts?
I kind of agree with that primarily because my gut was really, really leaning Rutgers because they do play really hard, and Greg Schiano is a really damn good head coach.
Hmm.
And also, I mean, they lost that game just not because their defense was poor. Their offense just couldn't do anything. And then
Yeah.
with the QB controversy, I've never been a big fan of Garrett Schrader, even when he was with Mississippi State. I think he lacks accuracy in passing. And also, I mean, if you remember correctly, he was in an alleged incident where he was out of the bowl game when he was there that one year. And
Hmm.
Tommy DeVito, I thought he was going to show out. I mean, he played a pretty poor game. I mean, he only had 150 yards. I think his QBR was around the 30s, which is something you don't want to start a quarterback. So I think Dino really needs to I think ride with him because he basically is the lesser of two evils because I think that's the only focal point of their offense, and they definitely need a win here against Albany.
If you had not had a chance yet to listen to the Thursday show, strongly encourage you, as we had Locked On Syracuse host Tyler Aki there, said there was a lot of struggle with the offensive line. It didn't matter whether you get, which quarterback that you got. Is this the final game for Dino Babers? Do you fire him if they do not pick up the win?
Yeah, it's Albany.
Yeah.
Like Albany,
Yeah.
that's not like if you maybe had lost to Rutgers. I mean, when you lose to Rutgers, like okay, that's like a program that's on the up and up. I think a lot of people like them in the Big Ten with Greg Schiano coming back, but Albany is a program that they're never been known for their football. They're barely
Hmm.
known for their basketball. They're one of the teams that come in, into the not Sweet 16, into the March Madness bracket,
Hmm.
every so often. But if you lose to that, that's almost on par with losing to Jacksonville State in your own hope and in your own game at Doak. So to me, yeah, that's something you probably would fire Dino. And quite honestly, like it's better to move on from head coaches early on in the year. That way, you can get your coaching staff in place for recruiting because the early sign period now is December 14th to the 16th. So to me, he needs to win this game. He also needs to win this game convincingly too.
So if he doesn't win convincingly, you still think they might be like, listen, we just don't know what we got here.
Yeah, I think you don't fire him, but I think everything starts in place where like
You
they
start making phone calls.
they start making phone calls, start getting feelers. They hit up Jimmy Sexton, the guy that represents every damn head coach out there, because that's what happens, man. Like when you
Yeah.
don't show up when you need to, like stuff's gonna be stuff that you no longer have it out of your control, and that's the worst place to be in, especially with your profession.
I can't say I don't agree, but hopefully he can get this W and we can just keep rolling. But you never know. I've heard from the defensives, or you heard from his leaders when they were at media day about how important it was to come back and kind of change things. So I feel like he's a player's coach a little bit. And look, Tyler Aki will probably yell at me like, "No, he's lost the locker room." But here we are. I would hope that those guys want to finish it off on a good note for their own sake, if nothing else. But we'll have to wait and see. Now we're going to switch gears, of course, and talk about the Coastal. Got some great games coming down the stretch here. We're going to talk about UNC, Virginia, and Duke, our favorites, and then we're going to get my guy Jersey Drake's game of the week. Before that, did you know that Built Bar has so many delicious flavors? There is something literally from everyone. If you talk to a Built Bar fan, they're definitely passionate about their faves. If you don't know what the Built Bar flavors are, well, frankly, you're missing out. If you haven't tried all the flavors, you can get a mixed box where you get 2 of each of the 9. Now, listen, not only are Built Bar flavors the best tasting, but they're healthy too. 17 to 18 grams of protein, only 130 to 180 calories, with 4 to 5 grams of sugar. Order today and get your mint brownie, raspberry, double chocolate, or whatever you might like. And you can head over to BuiltBar.com and receive a 15% bonus off your order when you use Locked15. That's Locked15 at BuiltBar.com to receive 15% off your first order. Sitting here with my guy, Jersey Drake, for Freestyle Friday. We are going over these week ahead predictions. We're on week 3. Excited about ACC football. Hopefully we get a better group of games, get some strong wins. And let's talk about Tyler Aki, who mentioned that UNC versus Virginia Saturday at 7:30 that is tomorrow. There it is. Would be a great game to watch. We are going to see Sam Howell versus Brennan Armstrong. A lot of talk has actually been around Brennan Armstrong and the Virginia Cavaliers. Bronco Mendenhall has done quite the, progression when you look at his 5-year track. And then you also talk about how Virginia was the 2019 Coastal Division champions. It changes every year because that's just the Coastal. But now all the hype being around Sam Howell and the UNC Tar Heels and Mac Brown, people are like, listen, Virginia's trying to let you guys know that it was cool and all to give all the media hype, but let's just sit here and say that they might be the better team after Saturday's performance. I would love to know your thoughts here.
Yeah, I'm actually really big on Virginia in this game, primarily because we've talked about it, and now I'm kind of subscribed to the theory where when you guys get really, really hyped up for some reason, one way or another, you find a way to, not live up to that hype. And then also, Brennan Armstrong right now, statistically, is playing probably the best season of his career. He beat Illinois by like 5 scores, which is absolutely ridiculous. He threw for over 400 yards. He's doing everything that we thought Sam Howell would be doing this year for a Heisman Trophy thing.
Ooh.
Sam is
59-17
still playing really well.
I'm about to say 59-17 is a pretty good score, but I definitely get your point. Talent is certainly different, albeit Illinois is not that great either. But I 100%, I'm not disagreeing here. But Sam Howell was supposed to be the guy.
Yeah, it's not that he's not playing well. I think he's still playing really well. But we expected Sam Howell to be like high. Like, remember when Lamar Jackson came on the Heisman scene? He had like 6 touchdowns, 7 touchdowns. It was like all like the team ran around him. Mm-hmm. Sam Howell's playing really, really well, but he's not meeting the standard I think we all set for him coming into the year.
But see, I think that's our fault because we did not have that, humility when saying his weapons are gone. Like his go-to guys, his ones he can count on are no longer there. And Josh Downs is doing everything that he can. But like Antoine Green, step up. We need to have guys on the field and available. Joffrey Brown, what you doing? Where you at, my guy? Like we need to have the offensive line try and do something. Like that's all I'm saying. We can't have that constantly be the Achilles heel, all pun intended. And then defensively, you got to keep them in games. I think sometimes they've gone to sleep at the wheel at the most important critical parts. If you don't know how to tackle by now, son, I don't know what to tell you.
Oh yeah, don't we can do an entire episode about proper form tackling because trust me, that's something that's literally been just haunting me for the past 2 or 3 years. But yeah, the defense, that is one thing that also is not helping your guys' case at all. And Brennan Armstrong is like, he's rolling out to his left, rolling out to his right. He's a really athletic quarterback. He's improved, and I think he definitely is in that probably top 5, maybe now top 3 conversation for best QB in the conference with Bill Dracovic out.
And listen, the fact that we were struggling against BB3, and I'm talking about Brendan Burmeister, that frustrates me even more. That worries me even more because I think Brendan Armstrong is a step above Burmeister, right? And I think he has wheels and he'll do it. He showed us. He beat us last season when they were 2-7, whatever it was. Like they can beat us if we don't show up. And it's a night game. Sometimes in all the world's a stage for Carolina, it's real intense. You just never know what you're going to get. So I toss it up. I don't even know what this game is going. I think it's going to be a shootout, which I think is fun. Always fun to look at. But
that I agree with.
I don't know if it's going to be on the side of the Carolina Tar Heels, but we'll see. Never know. Then we got Duke, who is rounding out the show here when we cover all of our teams for week 3. They are playing Northwestern at 4 p.m. on the ACC network. Gunnar Holmberg coming into the season with 498 yards. Mateo Durant doing the damn thing with his rushing. My guy, I hope he just makes it through the end of the season. He has to put the team on his back every single game. I'm just begging the defense to give him something. Help him out here just a little bit.
Yeah, he is literally, I think, the college football version of the Greek, mythology Atlas. He just literally is carrying that entire program on his back. Yeah. And because he had 250 yards the first game against Charlotte, and then he had only 51 this past week, but he had 3 scores, which is also absurd. It's huge. And that to me is someone that shows like he's not a selfish player. He's a genuinely cares and actually wants the team to win at any other cost. And even Gunnar Holmberg actually played a pretty good game against NCA&T, which you remember at the beginning of that game, they were still in it.
Okay.
And then out of nowhere, Duke comes out of half like, no, this is not going to happen, and scored 21 points and actually beat them by 45-17. And then with Gunnar Holmberg, I think he had 30 yards rushing, which I didn't know that man was that athletic.
See, I think
damn, bro, extend the play.
Yeah, I think Coach Cut had to come to Jesus. He said, y'all ain't going to have me about to paint over some, BS losses. Like Charlotte, I'll give it to you. Coach Healy, he's on the up and ups. Fine. Mm-hmm. North Carolina A&T, y'all are not going to sit here and embarrass me. So let's get it together. I think also no longer having that Friday night game where they feel like they're a high school squad. Like people will respect having a Saturday night slate. Like let's give it to them, right? So I think they're in a different position, different mentality. But playing in Northwestern, they're not a school to sleep at. They were just in the Big Ten. Was it the Big Ten championship?
They were the Big Ten championship last year against Ohio State. Okay. Yeah,
exactly. Look at me. You better go. So yeah, I think that it's going to be a nice matchup. Will it be even? It might get a little lopsided, but I'm hoping I hope Duke plays well. Say all that to say.
Yeah, here's the thing with playing against Northwestern. I actually am a huge fan of Pat Fitzgerald. I think he's a damn good head coach. The problem is, I think they lost their defensive coordinator over the past year. Their defense has been some of the worst defense I think he's had since he's been there. His offense, they don't have a quarterback, really. I think it's Hunter Johnson, the former, I think he was at Clemson, and now he's there. He's not playing particularly well, and their backup is Ryan Helinski, who lost out the job after transferring from South Carolina. So they don't have an offense either. I honestly think that Duke has a really, really good shot of
Drake.
winning. No, I think they can legitimately win this game because if you see right
Two
now,
bad defenses against each other. It's going
two
to be a
bad
shootout
defenses.
that we didn't expect.
But I think this is a game where Mateo Durant actually can go off and actually
Sure.
carry the team to a win instead of going off and having the entire defense fail behind them because he's going up against a team that's, while they may be well coached,
Yeah.
they don't have particularly anything to be scared of.
Yeah. I mean, I'm right here with you, but I don't know if I'm gonna give Duke that win right here. But
last time you did see the whole Drake, I was like, Appalachian State, you stopped me with that. So you know what? I'm going to stick with my gut with this one.
Ooh, we've had a whole Chase Bryce bash week. I feel so bad, poor guy. I'm sure he's over here listening Locked on ACC like, God, y'all don't love the show, no love, but it's fine. We do have to give you the best game of the week and then go over our betting here. We're gonna go over what his last week's scores were and then talk about what he's got going on this week. So speaking of betting, we are back and better than ever. All eyes are on the gridiron as teams are back to start another football season. As always, BetOnline is your number one spot for all the pro and college football action. Head to the website or use your mobile device today to sign up to receive a 100% welcome bonus. That's double your initial deposit just for signing up. Don't forget to use promo code NFL100. Right? Go to BetOnline, the fastest and easiest way to bet on all sports action. BetOnline is your online sportsbook experts. Please use promo code LOCKEDON. Wrapping up today's show here with Drizzy Drake. You can find him at Tally__Drake. He covers Locked on Seminoles podcast with his fellow co-host. Holds it down when it comes to college football in general, though. So I know you have a game of the weekend that you think is going to be the best. What you got for me?
I think it's Virginia versus UNC. I know that's a very common pick, but that's gonna be a damn good football game. I think you have really two good. It's gonna be stressful for you, but it's gonna be awesome for me, Tyler, Ken, JJ, and AJ watching the game because you have two really damn good head coaches and Bronco Mendenhall and Mac Brown. You have who was a Heisman contender, but now someone that kind of needs to have. He kind of might have a little bit of a chip on his shoulder, but he needs something to prove. And Sam Howell, Brian Armstrong, whom, like I said before, he's going to be contending for a top 3 QB in the conference. Very underrated. And this is something that I'm really interested in watching and seeing because it's going to be a night game. It's going to be electric. I'm super excited. And quite honestly, it's going to be probably the best game of the weekend that's not Auburn Penn State.
Who is your top quarterback of the conference right now?
Oh, man. God.
Because I'm thinking you say Brennan Armstrong's top 3. There's got to be one who you feel, the 2 that you think are better. And I'm just curious who's 2 you think are.
I think DJ shoved me up a little bit last week. I know they played South Carolina State, which I know is a garbage team, but so the one thing you see with quarterbacks is, in my personal opinion, when you play to competition that's below you, you need to show up and show out. And that's something that he did immediately. Now, it was going to be Phil Dracovic, and then he went up and hurt himself, which really sucks because I think he has NFL talent and because he's a leader, he's a gamer. I mean, he's Big Phil. That's the man.
For sure.
And him getting hurt really, really sucks. Sam Howell was up there, but I need to see him in big moments and big games like this. Because I remember against Clemson a few years ago when y'all were really, really tight his freshman year, he didn't really show out. Against us last year, he kind of, faltered a little bit. So I need to see him, I think, in big games. He plays well, but he doesn't give that extra bump up for you guys to win the final game. And that game against Virginia, if he wins that and not only wins and covers, I think that actually shows a testament to how good he actually can because he needs to step up to play for that. He needs to be clutch.
Ooh, you ain't never lied. You better go ahead and give the delivery. Pastor is preaching today, boy. Okay, let's give the scores from week 2. We had you what is this? Let me count. You had 4 losses on the weekend, and that's okay, right? You did fairly good. You had a lot of faith in Middle Tennessee State. Not sure why with Bailey Hockman, but okay. You had faith in Syracuse. NC State kind of let us down there with Mississippi State.
I don't want to talk about that.
I'm sad that they lost Peyton Wilson and Cyrus Fagan for sure. But
that
FSU,
really sucks.
Yeah, we thought that was a gimme. So this week 3, we're going to go through our respective teams. I'm going to give you the times. Make sure you guys are all set. ACC, we start Friday nights. UCF playing Louisville, right? They'll play at 7:30 on ESPN. Drizzy Drake prediction.
Yeah, I think UCF is going to win this game. I will never, ever take a Scott Satterfield-led team with Malik Cunningham as his quarterback. I think actually Malik Cunningham is a better quarterback than Scott Satterfield is letting him be. So for me, I'm taking Central Florida, who has the better quarterback Dylan Gabriel, the better head coach in Gus Malzahn, who they're starting to hit all cylinders. I think Tyler touched on a little bit yesterday where I think they're the second scoring offense in the entire country. And if they start the ball rolling and against a Power 5 win, in which now they know they're going to the Big 12, start showing up a lot of points, I can see them win this game by 20. So give me UCF to win and also give me them at my 6.5 right now.
Ooh, all right. Then we get to Saturday, starting out with our noon slate. We've got Virginia Tech and West Virginia at noon on FS1. There it is.
This game is so hard for me to pick. It's not even funny. And that's mainly because I don't like Justin Fuente, but
okay,
they almost coached themselves out against Virginia Tech, against UNC. Mm-hmm. They let Bailey Hawkman and Middle Tennessee State kind of stay in there a little bit.
Okay. All right. There it is.
So for me, but I don't think West Virginia is that particularly good. Like I don't think their quarterback is that great. I think Neil Brown's a decent head coach, but I don't think he's shown any sort of improvement there that makes me believe that. I mean, they have Braxton Burmeister. I understand that, but like, I don't think me personally, I'm going to take Virginia Tech to win this game. It pains me to do that. And if you're making a pick on this, I'm not going to make a gambling pick on this. I'm not touching it. If you see my sheet right now, it's blank and scratched out.
I feel it. I think I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna go with West Virginia here. I feel like I have more confidence in Jared Doge than I do Burmeister, but Fuente has proven me wrong already a couple times this season, so we'll have to see. Michigan State and Miami on ABC in Coral Gables. What you got?
So everyone in my office wants Manny Diaz fired. They basically are not happy with him. I think remember he had a press conference after the Alabama game where he's like, they do this to everyone in Alabama. Well, you had 6 months to prepare to not be completely embarrassed on national TV. I mean, I'm not going to expect anything else from some guy that went to Miami Country Day High School. Shout out South Miami. But to me, I like Mel Tucker. I like Mel Tucker a lot. I think he also has a dynamic weapon in Kenneth Walker III, the former Wake Forest running back.
Yep.
So for me, give me Michigan State to win this game, to cover plus 6.5, and I'll take the money line.
There it is. Western Michigan and Pittsburgh playing on ESPN3 in PA.
Shout out to you for making this your game of the week last week, Pitt and Tennessee, because Kenny Pickett showed out. Kenny Pickett is the truth. He's the man. He's such a likable QB, and also he gets the job done. Like, he's a gamer. And Western Michigan is in for a rude awakening because Kenny Pickett's going to punch that ticket. He's going to cover at -15, so give me Pitt.
Then we've got Albany and Syracuse.
So Syracuse, I can't pick against Syracuse with this because it's Albany. Like as I said earlier, we don't even have the lines on BetOnline AG. I just looked either. I think it's going to open up probably tomorrow morning, folks. If you want it, -27, maybe -26.5. Take that, because if they don't cover that, if they keep it even within 2 scores, that's not even a win for that because Albany should not be playing on the field with Syracuse.
Boston College and Temple.
Yeah, Boston College and Temple. Temple's not a good team. The problem is that Boston College, they, as we said before, they lost Phil Dracovic. They have, I think, what's the kid's name? Dennis Grossell. I know AJ said, BC can still win 9 games with them. I mean, listen, I said the same thing, after Notre Dame, and look at us right now. Yeah, I'm in pain, folks. I'm dead inside. The thing is with Dennis Grossell, I don't know anything about him. So I'm going to pick BC to win the game because Temple is not particularly good. I'm going to, though, take not any spread whatsoever. I'm going to take the under 57 because either one of the two things is going to happen. BC is going to score a lot of points because no one has tape on Dennis Grossell, or Dennis Grossell was a backup for a reason and they don't score very many points. So give me BC to win, but also give me the under 57.
I think Grossell is going to give us a little bit of hope and spark into those. I mean, it'll be a prove it for Coach Hafley, right? We'll say, if you want to be the coach that everyone says you're going to be, can you get your guys to step up in big ways and even play a team that, you should, arguably win against, even though you don't have your starting QB. All right, 3:30 games. We have got Georgia Tech and Clemson on ABC in Clemson. At Clemson, whatever you want. Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay, whatever. Do the little rock thing with Howard's rock run down the hill.
Yeah.
Clemson's going to beat them by 50 points, and it's not because
50?
of it's just me being hyperbolic. But the thing is, though, Dabo doesn't like Jeff Collins. I don't know if you remember 2 or 3 years ago, they were working out on the field, and Dabo tried to kick them off, and Jeff Collins is like, no, because Jeff Collins I like Jeff Collins, but he's kind of a weirdo, kind of a tryhard, And Dabo, ever since we beat them by a lot, every time we play them, he makes a point to beat us by 50 to 60 points. So, and Georgia Tech does not still, I don't think they have Jeff Sims back yet. I think they'll have Jordan Yates, who has been playing a little bit better, but against this Clemson defense, I'm going to take Clemson, and you're going to give me minus 28.5 because I think they're literally going to make a statement here. Well, not a statement. They're going to prove a point that they don't.
Come on, making
like
statements.
Making
3:30
statements
on ESPN. Stop it. Florida State and Wake Forest. Who you got? Okay. Uh-oh. You gotta have this. That was the heavy side. Okay.
Yeah, this is the come Jesus moment. I took Wake -5 on Sunday when the book opened. It's at -4 now. I would take Wake -4 here. I think Wake's going to win this game, unfortunately, because either see us losing a game by a touchdown, or us blowing them out by 2 scores, mainly because I have no idea what we have in this team anymore, and we haven't seen much from Wake Forest. But at this point, I have no faith in the play calling, the scheme, and also the coaching staff not understanding the personnel, and also the kids. It's just a lot of mess right now.
I think Florida State's going to show who they are. I think they're going to step up and be like, you guys are sleeping on us, and that's okay. We enjoy that. Thank you for playing. And they're going to step up for Coach Norvell. I think Wake Forest is going to wet the bed because they've been playing really mediocre teams so far. But it isn't Winston-Salem, so that's another reason that it could be to the advantage of the Demon Deacons. All right, we got 4:00. We are going to Northwestern and Duke.
Yeah, give me Duke +3. Give me Duke money line. I think the battle of the nerds. I think Duke actually pulls this out against Northwestern. I like Pat Fitzgerald, but I think David Cutcliffe, I think you said, is on his swan song. It's his last hurrah, and I think him winning. This will be a big win in your last year if you actually beat a Big Ten team and beat a team in Northwestern who played in the Big Ten championship as you said before, and his last year. So give me Duke +3 and money line because I think that they definitely could show out, and Mateo Durant's going to have a monster day.
Yeah, I want Coach Cut to get as many good wins as he can on his last hurrah. Virginia and North Carolina, what is the line?
I took it at +9 when it opened with Virginia. It's at +7.5 right now. I'm still taking Virginia to cover that. I think Virginia has a really good chance to win this game.
Okay, Drake. Nope. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
I think they have a really, really good chance to win this game. My fear is I think that's Virginia is really, really hyped up right now because they did beat up Illinois. Illinois is not good.
This should be a revenge game for Carolina, how they got smacked last time. They got caught sleeping when they went up to Charlottesville. So I'm hoping that they want to have revenge and take it out and win at home, especially in a night game atmosphere, and be the team everyone says they can be. But, it's Carolina. They could let you down. It's happened before.
I agree with that. So here's my thinking. I was very torn on this and actually listened to y'all's episode yesterday on the way home from work. And I'm a trends guy. And when Tyler said that, Bronco Mendenhall's 8-22 on the road, then you know what? Give me Virginia to cover, but give me UNC to win. So that's going to be my pick.
Finally, Furman and NC State playing at Carter Finley Stadium on ESPN3 at 7:30. What we got?
Yeah, give me NC State just to win the game. I don't even think we have a line for that open right now. I think Devin Leary and Coach Dave Dorn need to actually to win demonstrably because they were just embarrassed against Mississippi State. A Mississippi State's team that's probably in the cellar of the actual SEC, who Mississippi State's going to probably lose to Memphis this weekend too. So
that's tough, Jersey Drake. That's hard because
when you lose your money, I get tough on you, okay?
Hey, amen. I'd rather you be upset because you're losing money than be the kind of people that are just about fantasy football who are super psychotic to the point where you made me go down a point, but they play without money. So I'm you guys really need a hobby, it's okay. We need to figure something out for you. It's all right. But no, I agree. I think that Coach Dorn has got to show and prove, for the rest of the season because listen, we understand that you're great at winning games you're supposed to win. That was for a long time State's hurdle. We're past that. We've got to win some games that should be like the Tennessee and Pittsburgh game. We assumed that NC State would step up in the same way. They did not deliver. So they have got to figure it out. They got to figure it out quick unless, you want to have this 10-win talk. You got to show up. There's that. Well, you got all your games covered. You got all your times. You got the lines. You've got everything you need to get ready for week 3 of college football. And if you want to bet further, strongly encourage you to hit up the betting podcast, Locked On Bets with your boy Q and handicapping expert Lee Sterling. daily picks, blowout specials, wrong team favorite picks, and Lee Sterling's lock of the day. You can follow that podcast at betonline.ag, brought to you by betonline.ag, wherever you get podcasts. Jersey Drake, as we round out the show, please remind folks of where they can find you and follow your work.
Yeah, guys, you can follow me at Tally__Drake. You can follow my co-host, Max Moody, at MaxMoody17. You can follow our community at Knowles Anonymous. That was the podcast that we had before joining Locked On Seminoles. Thanks to Candace and Ross. And that's where we take all questions, fan mail, 5-star reviews and all that. Please, come and join us. And also, Candace, I'm going to change my pick actually real quick for Wake and FSU. I'm going to take us to win that game by 10 points and cover.
Look at you.
You convinced me. You're right. I'm hyped. You were right. You know what? We're FSU. We don't lose to Wake Forest. We don't. I'm sorry. Let's do it.
Listen, let's go. Give him the 1-2 punch, the pep step. All right. That sounds perfect. Well, we hope you guys have a great and safe weekend. Please be smart and safe out there. Wear your mask, all that good stuff. And we'll be back on Monday with all the recaps of week 3, the scores, and whatever have you. Until next time, Candace Cooper and Jersey Drake.